Hey guys, it is me. It is Nik the Booksmith, and I have something kind of super special to share. Well, it's super special to me. How's that? This is a continuation of the Seraphina saga. So if you remember, there was a carpetbagger journal called Seraphina, and she was a gypsy girl that was mistaken for a thief, and she had to run and hide. So this is a continuation of that saga, and so I will read the story. I've got it all written down in here, but I'll read it real quick to you so that you can see that. So it is wrapped in this old pashmina. Well, it's just a piece of a pashmina, really, and with a vintage brooch. And it just comes off like that, and you can wrap it up however you'd like. So the deal with this book is that it had to be made in a way to where if it got slipped on a shelf, no one would be the wiser. So you could slip that puppy on a shelf and it would just look like an old weathered, water-stained book, just an old book. So it was a secret journal. There's the back. And so there is no embellishing on the front, on the spine, on the back. It's just simplicity itself. It is what it is, guys. Here, let me scoot this over. I'm getting used to a new camera, so sorry. All right, so that's what it is. It's water stained, and it's old, and it's tattered. And now on this side, it still opens with the closure, the ribbon, the seam binder's ribbon, and there are all these little tabs in here. There are also, Seraphina is a gypsy, and when gypsy comes to mind for me, I think of little charms and little found objects and treasured little things kept. And so on some of these pins there are little flower cameos and little beads, and here is a little elephant. Sorry, there we go, a little elephant. And then there's another one in here. Oh, here's one. There's a little gypsy bell there, and with a little tag that says wander. So let's look at this thing. It is the standard 9x6, and let me hold on, people, hold on. There we go. So like I said, it is standard 9x6-ish, and it has approximately 190 some pages. So inside we have this beautiful sewn pocket with some textile sewn on here. Is a little gypsy bell and some vintage shell buttons, the actual vintage shell buttons from ancientness ago. There's a little metal brad there that has a number 26 on it, and a photograph of some kiddos. And this is the story of Seraphina. You might recognize part of the beginning of this, but I'll read it real quick. Sorry. So the first paragraph is probably what you know if you've read her story. It says, by the light of a dying fire, Seraphina replaced the missing coins on her dancing skirt. Money was hard to come by these days. She hoped Budapest would yield a better wage. The camp was resting now. Lights in the tents and caravans had gone dim. But Seraphina could not sleep. Her mind continued to spin on the events of the day. A kind but somewhat misguided shopkeep mistook her for a thief. To avoid the constable, she ran through the crowd to escape. Now, Seraphina was an innocent woman with a guilty face. Reaching for her quill and ink, she turned to the next blank page in her journal. And then this is where it starts. The next morning she woke to the sound of heavy hooves pounding into the camp. Joseph barged into her tent with panicked, wild eyes. "The bobbies are here for you. They think you killed that shopkeeper." Seraphina grabbed her tattered bag, shoving a pair of shoes inside. "Go," Joseph pleaded. Seraphina kissed the young boy on the forehead and slipped out the back of the tent. She ran. She didn't look back. She didn't slow down. When the breath was gone from her lungs, she slowed down and slumped at the base of an old oak. Her bare feet were cut and bloody. Slowly she stood up, gingerly walking over to a trickling stream to dip her feet into the cool water. Beyond the edge of the tree line she spied a small farm. An old woman was feeding chickens by the barn. Seraphina pulled on her shoes, wincing at the pain, and walked toward the woman. "Hello," Seraphina called. "Hello, dear. Can we help you?" the old woman asked. "I hope so. I'm looking for work. Do you need any help?" Seraphina inquired. "Goodness, no, dear. We get on pretty well on our own." "Oh." Seraphina bowed her head and grimaced in pain as she slowly turned to walk away. Noticing, the elderly woman called to her, "Wait, maybe for a short time. My old bones aren't what they used to be. Come here, love, follow me." The woman led Seraphina to a small house at the back of the farm. "You can stay here if you'd like. What's your name, dear?" "Beth," she lied. "Well, Beth, we milk the cows at dawn. We'll see you then." Many years later, when the elderly man and woman had long since died, and the farm had fallen into neglect and disrepair, the new owners made the difficult decision to tear down the small, ramshackle cottage at the back of the property, near the edge of the wood. This old tome was found underneath the floorboards, wrapped in an ancient shawl. Take much care with this journal. Seraphina's legacy now rests in your hands. So that is the story of Seraphina, and Seraphina took to hiding at that farm and changing her name. And this was the journal that she hid under the floorboards when she had to leave. Hopefully we will continue on with this story in another journal, so the saga may continue, but as of right now, this is the journal that she used while she was at the farm. So she took an old book and she took out the insides and she took found papers and she bound them in so that she could have her own journal. And this is what resulted from that. So I will put that story back in here for the owner of this journal. Here is a sewn pocket with some cheesecloth and a little traveler tag. Here is a journaling card and an envelope journaling page. Excuse me. There are little tickets here on the side and little textiles as well. And along the inside of this journal, there are many, many quotes and poems about secrets. And so I think the recipient will find that interesting, that they can read through here. And there's some quotes about gypsy spirits, so I think you'll like that too. There are just some random pages sewn on with some bits of lace that she found and some book pages. Some of the Edith Holden pages that I thought were beautiful. There's another quote there. Some ledger paper. There's some mail from my Reminisce kit. There is that little pin with the elephant. There's a little fold-out page. On this Edith Holden page is sewn some paper and some textiles with the Tim Holtz pin. There's a little teeny tiny trifold note page, and you can just tuck that right underneath that little heart stopper. Heart stopper. Here is another little poem down there, and here is an old photograph of that Main Street that I adore. On this page, in this pocket, these are, I found some at an old thrift store. I found some of these guest checks, and I just thought they were really cool. So I slipped those in here to write on. And then on this side is some cheesecloth and some very extremely old wire woven lace. Here is some of that Italian marbled paper sewn onto here with a vintage stamp. There is another quote there about secrets. I better hurry, this is going to take forever. There is another one there. There's a little belly band here, you can slip something in. Here's a little page, a little botany page. I thought she might find that useful. Some more textile and another vintage button. There's that charm up there. There's another quote up there about secrets. Some sheet music. Gotta hurry, I think my battery's dying. There's another photograph and a fold out. Another poem. Some beautiful, the beautiful Edith Holden pages. I just love those. There is a page from a poetry book from like 1903. And another quote up there. I think that's Tolkien. There's a little collage down here with a butterfly. And Seraphina's mother was French, and so that is a page from a French textbook. Another quote down there. There's a little collage all sewn onto this page. Another pocket with a little ticket tab. Here's another sewn pocket with a ticket. It's a bus ticket and, well, it's a train ticket. I don't think it's buses. That's too old to be a bus. A pin and some lace and a little piece of ephemera stuck in there. And here is another poem on that side. There's a picture of a steamer ship. I love that picture. Some note paper, some more book paper. There is another quote over here on this side and another piece of mail from that Reminisce kit. There's a little gypsy bell. There's that Wander tag. Another fold out. Another quote up here. Beautiful Edith Holden page, a little tuck spot there. And on the back here is another little quote with my signature and the book plate. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to be making more like this. I love the look of this book. It just looks like an old book. You could put it on a bookshelf and nobody would know. Nobody would know what it was. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that secret thing going on there. This book comes with this vintage brooch. It also comes with the story, of course, and the pashmina that it will be wrapped in. I hope you enjoyed this journal, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the latest project, and I will catch you soon in the next video. Bye, guys.